Well, hello everybody and welcome to what is round 8 of the GT3 E-Series, all thanks to Flatout Karts. Of course, tonight we are at the historic racetrack, which is Oran Park. Was in New South Wales over there in Australia. Beautiful track here, very short though, not as long as the other tracks we previously have been to, so it's going to be fast and sharp to get around here tonight, and we've got quite a few guys out in the practice session at the moment. As you can see, still 7 minutes left in that one, so this is just the practice session. We've got half an hour qualifying coming your way, followed by the 1 hour race, so it's going to be a big one tonight. Christopher Mitchell is going to be joining me a little bit later, but he has chosen to go out there and do a couple of laps and having a bit of fun, being an ex-race car driver and having a good time out there as well. I don't blame him. He's got caught up in the sim world, and now we know he's got oodles of parts he's already invested in, so he is going to be pretty keen to get as many laps as possible. He's been out there all week. Have had a few discussions with him. It's going to be rather interesting to see how he goes out there, but he's not doing too bad at the moment because he's just sitting 9th out of about 13 people in the time, so he's pretty handy behind the wheel and very impressive behind the mic. So if you just joined us though, of course it is round number 8 that we are here. So round number 8 here from Oran Park Raceway. As you can see, we've got 12 corners to contend with. We do come over the crossover there, so we're going to come up turn number 1, the little sweeper there. They're going to be in there probably in 5th gear, holding it out all the way, but they could possibly get top gear through there. You never know. It's going to be right down to probably gear 1 though. They're going to get back to the first gear in Coca-Cola corner, and then they're going to head to Shell corner, up through Champion Curve, over the Yokohama Bridge, around through the Foster's Dip, up through Momo corner, then it's the O'Brien Aluminium Dogleg, and the final corner, turn number 11, the Recaro corner, where they head back onto the main straight. They have to watch out for that wall there. So it's going to be an interesting one tonight. Of course, we are 8 rounds in. Of course, round number 9 will be coming your way. Well, we'll be next week, actually, so it's going to be coming the 28th of March. Will be Laguna Seca is where we will be heading to, and then our Bathurst Enduro to finish off the series. Of course, at the moment, last round it was from Monza, Italy, and it was round number 7. Sam Dicker took the win there. He got the advantage over Paul Mansell and made it home, and he really did need that win to get back into the championship contention because Paul Mansell's been very dominant. He got a 2nd place. Gianni Lutzu got 3rd. Now, Gianni's been super impressive here, and what I really like about Gianni is that he has only done 3 races and he is sitting 8th in the championship. So that is super impressive. He's had 2 seconds and a 3rd. So Gianni is super impressive. It's a shame he hasn't been here throughout the whole series. Scott Stevens is another one who's only been here for a couple of races, and he got 4th last week. Mason Harvey behind him 5th. Sebastian Gueston 6th. Kevin Norman, Dylan Guest, Neil Woodburn, Tyrone Anderson round out the top 10. Corey Bennett with some incidents there, ended up in 11, unfortunately for him in the Azura Auto Sports, him and Fitzroy Beaumont, not where they really wanted to be. Zdenek Radnowski returned last week. We haven't seen him come up in practice yet, so maybe he'll make another return there in the Icebark electrical car. Dylan Sates also surprised to see him down there. Craig Spencer had a shocker last week, a couple of weeks ago, and it just seems to be a reoccurring thing there for Craig, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the series points very quickly. I'm just going to have a look here, actually. What we might do is, I think Chris is actually here in the commentary booth. Chris, you are joining us from inside the car.
How you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm going to turn you down because I got you loud, mate. Loud and proud. Yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right. We're going to get you around here. But what I am going to do is I'm going to bring you up on the broadcast now, because you've been... No, you've been cutting some good laps, mate. Don't worry about that. You've been cutting some good ones. I've been watching you for about the last 40 minutes, just seeing where you are, and you're sitting 9th fastest at the moment out of 13 cars, so you can't be upset about that one.
I'm not the worst.
I tell you what, I'm going to bring this up because you're coming up through, what's that look like, the dog leg now? You're coming up to the final corner, up to the Ricardo corner. Run us through a lap around here. Mate, that is a huge lap to get around there, and well, it's not really a huge lap actually. We might actually get up there, and we're going to go over to a couple of other drivers here and let you go out of your cockpit view because you've already got around there now. We will come up and have a bit of a look at the race preview that we're going to have tonight, and of course this one's a rather short track, 3.6 kilometres. Best lap time so far is a 103.067, which is actually Sam Dicker, no surprise there. Average speed about 148 kilometres. I've got the race distance here for 1 hour. That is not correct there. I put 38 laps up there a bit earlier in the weekend, thinking the laps are a little bit slower, but on review, we're going to get about 55 laps here tonight. Safety car depending. So 55 laps here. Well, that's actually, we got the wrong graphic up here. That's probably why I'm at the wrong racetrack. We're not at Oran Park there. We're at Laguna Seca. I've got two involved. We've got 2 ready for next week. We're pretty keen to get there, actually. That's going to be a fantastic track. But Oran Park, it's a short one here. Not much to get around. Sorry, it's 2.62 kilometres, 11 turns there. It's going to be, about 55 laps. So it's a short one here, 2.62 kilometres. Shortest track that we do go to in the series as well. The Oran Park is no longer there. 2010 it shut down, but it's just outside of Sydney there, was in New South Wales, now a housing estate unfortunately, but fantastic track, and it's good to see some of the old names and sponsors there that were here still remnant on the track map when you look it up in iRacing. But we're here tonight and we don't have long to go in this one because I do believe the time remaining for this practice session is down to 45 seconds. Can't be long till we turn around now and get into qualifying here at the GT3 E Series. Looks like Paul Mansell has decided to join us, which is good. A couple of things we need to go through in the championship. We bring up the championship points so far. Paul Mansell is still leading us here on 1,799 points. Sam Dicker behind on 1,526. Mason Harvey, 939. Kevin Norman in 4th position with 925. Corey Bennett, 916 in 5th position. Kieran Ellis, 851 points in 6th. Fitzroy Beaumont, the first, his teammate is in 5th. He's in 7th there with the Zero Autosports guys, in 805. Then we've got Gianni Litzu in 8th, who is on 727 points, and he has only done 3 rounds. Eli Tunstall in 9th on 663. Sebastian Guest rounds out our top 10 on 588 points. Now, we do have to remember we do have a drop round in this series, so you can select your worst round and drop that round. So when we look at the points, Paul Mansell's worst round was 169 points, which I think was a 5th place. So that was in round number 1. So if he drops that, he's on 1,630 points. So he stays in front of Sam Dicker. Sam Dicker missed a round. He actually was not here for round number 4. So his points will remain on 1,526. So Paul Mansell still has a lead over him going into these final few races. And remembering, 289 points for a win, 253. So you're only going to catch up 46 points. That means Paul can afford to come runner-up to Sam Dicker in the last 2 races. What he can't afford to do is be right down somewhere further down in 4th or 5th in any of these races. He needs to keep that consistency level, getting on the podium where he has been. Mason Harvey's in 3rd in the championship now. He also has had one bad round, round number 6, where he ended up right down the back there, and so he's on 881 points. Going to be pretty impossible to catch up to the boys, I think, for him. 881 points with his drop round, that is. So You can see 939 in the championship. Keep in mind these drop rounds. Kevin Norman's missed a round, so he will stay where he is. Corey Bennett's missed a round, so his points are pretty firm there at the moment. He can't do any more than 0. Kieran Ellis, he missed last week, so there's another one there. His points will stay at 851. He was at the pub, yeah. So he's actually got a podium in round number 3. He got 3rd place, so watch out for him. Corey Bennett's got on there too. A couple of times he's got 3rd place in round 1 and round 4, so watch out for these guys to sort of start to come through at the back. It's really that 3rd position that's up for grabs at the moment when it comes to the GT3 series, all thanks to Flatout Karts. It's what we really need to start looking at is the 3rd position. I think Paul Mansell and Sam Dicker, they can fight out for 1st and 2nd, unless one of them has an absolute shocker or misses a round. We do have 3 rounds left to go, of course. In this championship, we are 7 rounds in. Just having a look down the bottom there too, there's a few guys that have only shown up for 1 or 2. Scott Stevens is another one that we need to mention here, because Scott Stevens is actually sitting in 13th place in the championship. He has only raced 3 rounds as well. So Gianni Lutzu and him have only raced 3 rounds and done super impressively that far up when it comes to the championship standings. But let's get back out on track at the moment, as I do believe our qualifying session has started. So qualifying session is underway. Most of the cars are on their outlap, so that's why I've not brought them up there. They're on an outlap at the moment. You see, around 120s to 130s. But wait for this one. They're going to come round. We'll probably start with probably a 104 or 105 as they bring them up to temperature here. So we'll bring this up here now as the fastest laps start to come up. There we go. No surprise. Sam Dicker goes a 103.50, a 104.077 for Kevin Norman. Gianni Lutz a 104.087. Slide there too for the number 71, which is Kevin Norman. He's had a couple. He's in the wall. Wow. All right, what we need to know, though, who's going to be down to the pack and do a bit of a Shane Van Gisbergen this weekend. I know we're not at Sandown, we're actually here at Oran Park, but 17th to 1st was an impressive run this weekend, and, of course, you're never going to beat the SVG in the rain, so big congratulations to him if he's out there listening. I'm sure he is when it comes to iRacing. He likes to get on, resting that arm tonight. But we'll get on board now, of course, and I've got a couple of entries to show you tonight. We'll actually find out what some cars these guys are driving. Of course, there's Chris Mitchell. We've actually got Chris up on screen. It's decided to pick him because I've got it running a little bit automated tonight. Of course, sitting in the Audi there in the number 7, and been a popular car tonight. Looking at so far, we've got 13 cars entered at the moment, and I think about 9 of them are Audis. So we've got 4 different cars that are out in the pack. Of course, 2 Ferraris normally running around. 3 if Corey Bennett joins us a bit later, which I don't think he will. But of course, we've got Fitzroy Beaumont will be joining us, is out there at the moment in a Ferrari, and of course Peter B, the Italian stallion, also. As you can see, Sam Dicker's almost in 2nd. Mason Harvey's gone to the front, missed that one, a 103.431. What a lap from him to put that through together. Pips Sam Dicker for the number 1 position in qualifying at the moment. Remembering, half an hour qualifying, normally we're saying guys are only going to get maybe 15 to 18 flying laps. Here with a 103 or a 104, a bit of clear traffic, not too many cars entered at the moment, so these early guys that are out there putting some laps together, they are probably going to get 20 to 25 laps in qualifying if they want it. So that's going to be the big difference. They are going to be pushing really hard when it comes to qualifying at the moment. So remembering to, in qualifying, if you put a wheel off, you go out of the bounds of iRacing, like you just see Chris do then, just go off the track a bit, your lap actually goes null and void. So your lap time will not count, and therefore you won't get a qualifying time. And that's what we see. Some guys on a fly, we start looking at their segment times, and all of a sudden what happens is they go off. We wonder exactly what's happened, but that is what's going on at that time, is that they are they've gone out of bounds of the racetrack and they've got a penalty, and therefore it does not show up. So don't forget, we've got our chat going on tonight as well. I can see that up in the corner. I can bring that up. We'll have a look at who's out there, what they're saying. If you want to send us in some comments, and if you're enjoying the coverage, make sure you log on to the Flatout Karts GT3 series. Of course, we've got it running on Madicap Media on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you want to get on Twitch, which is really common amongst all the streaming guys nowadays. So Twitch, it's a great little service too. Get some good bandwidth as well. It's great to see everyone who gets on Twitch and gets involved. So we look up there, Mason Harvey still number 1. Gianni Lutzu has gone into 3rd though with a 103.634. So he is in 3rd position now for qualifying there. The only 3 guys there in the 103s at the moment. Kevin Norman a 104.077. Peter B a 104.333. He's been super impressive actually, Mr. B. He's really improved since he got into this series. He did come in a couple of rounds late too, and I'm just trying to remember what he came in. He actually missed round 1, so he actually came in at round number 2, which means the points you did see in the championship there, he's currently 19th. He will remain on those points. He can't, any drop round won't take him back. So, but getting better and better each week. So I can see there he's improved a position, a couple of positions each week, and sort of pushing in that 10 to 20 position now in the teens there, very commonly compared to when he first started in the first round. So getting a handle on the sim racing as well. Sebastian Guest up on screen, and another Audi getting around. Only one BMW there that just went past. That's Neil Woodburn in that Audi. Lime green too. I do like the livery on that one, so it's going to be bright. We're under daylight this time. Of course, we've had a couple of races where we've been under lights. We had Daytona. Last week from Monza, we had a big change in the weather, and it got really dark really quickly. So it's good to see that we have a nice daytime race. It should be nice and clean. Oran Park, short, sharp, and to the point. Of course, 1:02.948 for Sam Dicker, dropping in the 1:02s. Maybe we will see 60 minutes, 60 laps. Don't know if we will get that, but he's just getting more and more laps out there, and that's the beauty about this one too. Is I think there's a real opportunity here to possibly try and push the tyres as much as possible on this one. Short laps. Oh, Paul Mansell just rubs a bit of livery off on the wall there, and this one's going to be a very interesting one for pit entry there, as you see Paul Mansell go. Now, if you're under the back wing of a car in front of you, the car in front pulls in. That's going to really upset your aero too there at that point. So you have to be really careful if you think someone's going to go on the pits. I know you're not going to back off, but you don't want to be right under that rear wing tucked under, and all of a sudden they're on the brakes and pulling in. And everyone's using as much of that exit as possible on that corner as well. That one's going to be an interesting one. There's plenty of corners to talk about here, though. The Foster's dip, you need to be careful going through there. I really like, actually, it's about turn number 4 there, the Champion Curve, just before you come up over the bridge. Quite rough. Quite a few bumps in the racetrack that can really get unstuck, and I've had to notice quite a few people playing with the throttle there, as well as the O'Brien's dogleg. You come out of that, you come up over the crest. Car, gets a little bit of daylight there if you're moving fast enough, and you've got to be careful not to excite the tyres at that point too. So if you can grab hold of that, get off the throttle, if you feel it on the steering wheel, you've got that feedback turned right up. That's going to be a little area just to watch some people if they get a little bit too confident. So this one's going to be a great little track, Oran Park. I'm sure lots of the drivers here, being an Australian legendary track that shut down in 2010 and turned into a housing estate. Lots of people have done plenty of laps around this one, but the man of the moment is Sam Dicker, of course, from the Flatout Karts entry in the number 72. 1:02.948, and not another person in the 1:02s at the moment. So Kevin Norman there was up the top a bit earlier. He is down in third position with a 1:03.518 now, so he's gone in front of Gianni Lutzu, who was third before. He's now down to fourth. Sebastian Guest has joined us there, 1:04.089. Neil Woodburn, the BMW, at 1:04.120. Dylan Guest at 1:04. Fitzroy Beaumont at 1:04.3. Peter Beale 1:04.333. So they're 2,000ths of a second apart for 8 and 9. Paul Mansell with a 1:04.373. So he's got a time in at 10, but he won't want to do an SVG. You know, Sam Dicker's not going to. He's just going to run away with this, I think. Paul can't get there alongside him on the front of the grid. At least maybe in row 2 he needs to be up there. But I know Paul Mansell just likes to play around with a few things, get some things up to temperature, test some things, and he always seems to come out and lay down the numbers in the last 10 minutes of qualifying. Of course, as you can see, we've got 20 minutes left in this qualifying session, just over 20 minutes actually, so still a fair bit of time. Means they're going to get about 19 laps if they stay out there. I think the problem's going to be fuel. If they want to keep out there for qualifying, they will have to come in and grab fuel. I'm sure we're going to see a few resets. So there we go, one of the Ferraris, Peter B, just coming over the top there. You can see Paul Mansell in the back, and we might actually ride along with Paul Mansell because I want to see how he's going to go in this Lamborghini. First of our Lamborghini stands here tonight too. I think he might be the only one. He is stuck with this Lamborghini actually in the series. We have had the opportunity, if you want to change cars, we have allowed that here in the Flatout Karts GT3 E-Series. You see Paul now is about to start a lap, and what we might do is check out his time here, because now he's currently sitting in 10th there. He comes across the line. He might improve on that actually, because he's gone to 1:04.197. That'll push him up a little bit into 8th position at the moment. Just getting those tyres warmed up, and maybe the Lamborghini, because we don't have the big long straights here. Like, we're not seeing him click into 6th gear coming down that main straight. 5th gear, and people seem to be just holding it up there on the Rebel and not choosing to click 6th, because you basically get a dab of 6th gear if you really get a nice run out onto the main straight. So we'll just check Paul Mansell on this lap. What I might do is check out some of the times he comes around as well. because he's one we expect to see further up. He really needs the other. Mason Harvey, in the meantime, has gone a 103.26 to go in second position in qualifying. So a 103.26 for him, pushing Kevin Norman to third and Gianni Lutzu down to fourth. Sebastian Guest now in fifth. So Harvey putting his nose in there, and here's another one who's been impressive, third in the championship at the moment. He did get on the podium in round number 5, got a second place. And he's just had a couple of weeks where he's been a little bit off, which is unfortunate. With his drop round there, he will drop down to... He's probably going to drop a position or two if he has to take into account his drop round. So hopefully he has a good one tonight. And that round that I've got in my system there is his drop round, is the worst one. And he will get a charge on here to get some big championship points. Paul Mansell just goes into 6th place there that time. Moves up a 104.117. So he is starting to improve, which is good to see. Fitzroy Beaumont, the Azure Autosports entry. Let's see how he's going at the moment. He's about 2/3 way through the lap as we get around. Oh no, give him the camera curse in the final corner. He spins the Ferrari around the number 16 and it is off the track for Fitzroy Beaumont. That's unfortunate there. Sebastian Guest got a nice livery on this week too. It's good to see. Green got the flat-out cast there. Can't quite see it as well on the livery there. It just doesn't stand out as much as his previous one. He had the reverse one to Sam Dicker last week, which was actually quite refreshing to see that get around. Looks nice up close, though, the livery on this car. So Sebastian Guest and Dylan were sharing a bit of a drive at the start of the season. Looks like now they're set up. 2 rigs going, so Dylan and Sebastian both out there at the same time. And Sebastian Guest, though, sitting 10th in the championship. And I have seen a little bit of banter there that he is coming for Eli Tunstall. That is what he's doing. He is on the move there to take that 9th position off him. And interestingly enough, Eli will remain, if we take a drop round in, because Eli wasn't here last round, he will still remain in front of him. So Sebastian's going to have to get up there in the top 5 tonight, so get a bit of a charge on when it comes to those championship points. He's going to have to try and maybe score himself another podium now. I reckon we get up there close to the podium, maybe top 5. Just keep those points rolling in and try and make them start to count up as we get into this one. Of course, still getting around the track. Let's have a look at Mason Harvey. He's been super quick. Sam Dicker at 102.948 still there. Mason Harvey second. Kevin Norman, Gianni Lutzu in 4th. Sebastian Guest in 5th. And Paul Mansell has not improved in that 104.11 in the last couple of minutes. We've got 16 minutes left in this qualifying session. They are going to get about 15 laps in if they're fueled up and got tyres and are out there now. So still quite a bit of stuff going on at the moment. So if you just joined us, of course, we are in the practice qualifying session, here for the Flatout Karts GT3 series, round number 8 here on Park, as Mason Harvey gets wheels out on the dirt, manages to hold on to that one. That's lucky for him. That is extremely lucky for him to hold on to that one. And he's going to have to watch that too, because he could come unstuck there. It might not record this time, actually, as he goes over. He did cop a fair bit of dirt. It's going to hurt him in the time there. He's not going to improve in that 103.26 he did earlier. He will remain in second position. The other man to watch, Paul Mansell, now in a bit of a charge, 103.88. So he has just stepped it up again into the 103s, but unfortunately still remains in that 6th position at the moment. So see where Paul Mansell is on track. He's just going to pits. I reckon he's going to be filling up and put fresh tread on those ones. Neil Woodburn, the only one of our BMW in the field, is in pit lane at the moment, getting ready to come out. He's currently sitting down there in 7th position. Gianni Lutzu, let's get on board with him because he is 4th at the moment in the Audi, of course, which most of our field are. They're simply stuck with the Audi around here. They're coming out and heading over the Yokohama Bridge this time. Just got to get around this corner now, down to Foster's Dip. Can really unsettle the car there if you're not. Plenty of undulation on this track too, and it's not the smoothest of tracks either. Momo corner has just gone around. It's so short here. It looks big on the track map, but nothing to it. The O'Brien aluminium dog leg he goes through now down to the final corner, the Recaro corner. Here it is, the left-hander. We've got the big concrete wall out on the right-hand side. The entry to pit lane. Is he going to pits? See? So I mean, if you're behind the car in front and they decide to go in the pits, everyone is using all that road there to make sure they can get the optimum time there. And Gianni does not improve that time. His last lap was a 103.889. He's done a 106.3, so not his fastest. A bit of movement there. Is he actually out on track at the moment? comes up. The only BMW in our field at the moment. This is an outlap for him too. So he's going to about to start his flying lap. So let's stay on board with Neil and see how he goes in this flying lap. Currently sitting 8th faster with a 104.120. Probably wants another lap or two to make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and he's just got back in the groove of things. Let's see if he's going to click 6th. I don't think he will. No, see, they stay in 5th. Just slide it around there, like you say, lift off the hard on the brake, down to first gear. So they get around this first corner, the Coca-Cola corner. Gets it up into 3rd gear now, hard on the brake again, another first gear corner now as it goes around Shell. Up to Champion Curve. This one a little bit faster, 2nd gear. No, he decides to use first just to pull the speed down there. Pull the nose into the corner, up over the Yokohama Bridge. It's already right hand down now as we head down to Foster's Dip. Approaches that one. 3rd gear through here, you can see he's not using all the RPM, but he's right up there in the range. Through the dog leg. Gotta be careful there, down to 2nd gear, all the way down to 1st, just so he can get that down. Just a touch of 1st there to pull the speed of the car down here. So he comes out, he doesn't make a brush of that wall. He's on a 104.281. So not as fast as he did to maintain that 8th position. Paul Mansell still in that 6th position, and I'm just trying to see if he is actually up on track at the moment. So Paul Mansell there getting around. Let's have a look at Paul Mansell. He's coming around and complete a lap 2. Oh, just get a little bit unstuck there. You can hear the tyres light up. A little bit loose, goes across 104.167, but I do believe that'll be the first of his flying laps. Fresh tyres and some fuel on board. We still have 12 minutes left, which means he's got about 10 or 11 laps to make this happen. So 10 or 11 laps to make this one happen. Qualifying session at the moment. So we are underway. 12 minutes left in this one, still remaining. And the cars are getting around nicely. Injectors online entry, the only Lamborghini in the field here tonight too. So look at Kevin Norman, see where he's gone. He's in 3rd position at the moment. Just starting off this lap, about a 3rd of the way through as he comes around over the bridge. Nice shots there up on our cameras there. Great shot from the bridge. Coming through up to Momo corner now. He's just gone through the Foster's Dip. He'll head up to the dog leg. It's not a long run. Start clicking the gears into 4th. Up over the crest. Have to just back off it for a second. Get back on it. Then hard on the brakes. Final corner now. He's coming around Recaro. Sideways a little bit there. Oh, oversteer. Controls it nicely for Kevin Norman. Might not hurt him too much. 103.400. So 103.400. I'm just trying to see where that puts him. So he stayed in 3rd position at the moment, but his 103.407 is his fastest time. So if his times up here, his last lap has not come up. So I think he has gone off the track there and got a penalty, has not recorded a time that last time round for him. So that's unfortunate. Dylan Guest is out there though. Let's ride on board. He's in the pits at the moment. Sam Dicker though is leading us. Super fast at the moment. This is an outlap from him. He's just getting the car warmed up to have another crack at it. A 102.948, the only one in the 102s. Watch for him, he's getting around now. Paul Mansell's going to have to do something. He really needs to improve. He wants to get up there. Plenty going on for these guys out on track at the moment. Qualifying, 10 minutes remaining in qualifying. Sam Dick is your number 1. We're on board with him now. He's just come out. Fresh tyres. He's on an outlap. Bit of a wiggle there. Mr. Mitchell off in the background, just finding something. I don't know where he's gone. Off in the hiding behind some barriers. Fair bit of curb usage there, and it's really easy to get a wheel over the curb there. Sucks you into the dirt. The car is sideways. Final corner now for him. He goes wide. I don't think he's got the running on that one, or maybe he's just setting himself up for a flying run. Now he might be doing the track a little bit differently. That might be where he's got his advantage there. 104 off the pace for him. But it was his first flying lap. Not the outlap, but his first flying lap out there. I do believe he has stuffed up that final corner there, or maybe just got the run he wanted for this one. Paul Mansell, though, he needs to be out on track. He needs to get a little bit further up than 6th. Not quite sure where Mr. Spencer is. He hasn't come out and completed a lap at the moment. Shane Ewens as well has done a lap. So sitting there in 12th position, but not in the car at the moment. We will get on board once I see him come out on track. So Mr. Ewens back here tonight. Good to see the Church and Coles Ice Coffee on the side again. He's been doing plenty of stuff too. The veterans racing as well. So getting plenty of time in the sim at the moment. Well, Mr. Dicker sideways there and into the wall. That is a hard hit for Flatout Karts entry. Of course, a big shout out to all of our sponsors here for the series. And shout out to them, of course, Arise Racing, Sam Dicker Motorsport, also on board our great sponsors here on the Flatout Karts GT3 series. We're heading to round number 8. Flatout Karts, of course, we are going to buy, and they've got some impressive stuff going on at the moment. They've got a couple of karts there. They've been getting out some new karts, new chassis there, and the boys over at WA have been having some great success with them. They've actually had to put on some more staff there. That's how many karts they're turning out at the moment. So watch out for the guys from Flatout Karts. If you need to get anything done when it comes to the karting world, probably the guys to talk to if you want to get up there in the points lead. I mean, Sam Dicker, a super driver there, doing lots of training as well. Also, a big shout out to Direct Industries for being on board for the series as well. Thank you for joining us here in the Flatout Karts GT3 E-Series. Sideways from Dylan Guest as he comes over there. Lots of oversteer. Has to pull it back in. This is where we're talking about. Coming up now to the dog leg. Does a nice job there. Does he pull it up here on the final corner? Nice drive around there. Keeps it off the wall. This one's not too bad. 104.070. So Neil Woodburn, in the meantime, has gone to 103.896 in that BMW. So he's pushed up Sebastian Guest to 103. Paul Mansell now in 5th position. He's done a 103.71. He still needs to find something though, Mr. Mansell. I don't know if the Lamborghini likes the short track. He's stuck with the Lamborghini though. He was not going to change it. He's stuck with that one. But definitely, yes, not the fastest car. Probably likes the long straights there with the aero on that one. Likes to open up. Anything with a nice long straight gives him a little bit of an advantage here. This is a nice tight track. The Audis seem quite comfortable around here. And a very popular one there. Looks like we're not going to see Corey Bennett tonight either. Fitzroy Beaumont, the only one of the Azure Autosports guys that is entered. Unfortunately for him, is sitting in the pits at the moment as Paul Mansell comes back in. Maybe a bit of a change there. Just thinking about something, whether he can do something. All in the pits at the moment. It's a lot of guys in the pits. So look at Mason Harvey in 2nd position. He's on a 103.263. I don't know how you get to the 102s in this track at all. Sam Dicker is a freak. He's done a fantastic job, but he has got in the 102.945. And how he's done that, I don't know, but someone needs to come up with some answers. Paul Mansell hasn't even been that fast, and he's been super competitive throughout this series as well, considering that there is only one round where he's not made a podium, which was round number 1, his drop round that he's got at the moment. But he has made the podium. He was 3rd in round 2. He won round 3, 4, 5, and 6, and he came 2nd last week at Monza in round number 6. So Paul Mansell has been super, super impressive. He needs to keep that going, because with the drop round, I mean, Sam Dicker is only going to be 104 points behind him. So 48 points a round. If he comes behind him, say 289 points for a win, 253. That means we've got 36 points. So he can't afford there. He can afford. Well, no, he can't afford to come 2nd 3 times. He needs to beat Sam at one of these rounds. He needs to beat him at one of the final 2 rounds. Doesn't matter where they are on the track. He probably just needs to stay in front of him, and he can afford to just come a place or 2 behind him for a round or 2. It depends on how the points sort of fall out, how far down they are. But if they stay up the top there, if you think they're going to come 1 or 2 again, he needs to make sure he's going to. If Sam takes the win, he needs to make sure he's no worse off than 2nd. This little lead he's got over him at the moment. You see Mason Harvey pushing hard around this track. The Energy Motorsports entry, the 3 teammates, Craig Spencer, of course, with him. And Gianni Lutz has got the livery on as well. How can he go this time? He's not going to get that 102, 103.83. So that's not going to be his 26 he did earlier. Unfortunately for him, let's see if Paul Mansell's back out on track. There he goes, Mr. Mansell. The number 5 in 5th position at the moment, the Injectors Online entry. Coming out over the Yokohama Bridge. It's down to the Foster's Dip. Using all that track. Gets a wheel up on the curb. Manages to hold onto it though. Up over Momo corner. Down to the dog leg. Really pushing the lap. Fast through there too. Hard on the brakes now as he comes around the Recaro corner to finish the lap off. See it here. We're under a minute. We're up to a minute. Heading towards that start finish line. 1:03.63. That will improve his time, but he will not move up. A little bit of space in between this week. They were super close last week. But this time I do notice we do have just a couple of tenths between each car at the moment. So almost 2 tenths. The only guys an exception to that is 3rd and 4th, Kevin Norman, Gianni Lutzu, who are, how far apart are they? 75 thousandths of a second is the difference between those two guys. So the rest of the field, though, is 1.5 to 2 tenths apart in the top 5, and then we move down. Looks like Neil Woodburn and Dylan Guest are going to have a nice little battle there. There's only 47 thousandths of a second there. 96 thousandths back to Christopher Mitchell. We won't talk about him anymore. He doesn't need to listen to us. Let's see how Paul Mounts goes. We're going to stay on with him. We've got 3 minutes left in this, so we might give him this lap as well just to see how he goes. Tyres are well and truly up to temperature. Just grabs a little bit of dirt there now as he comes out of the Momo corner. Dog leg. Pulls it up. So he's only going to 2nd gear there to pull that up. Wow, flirting with that wall on the right-hand side. That's what you need to do. Another 1:03.6 though. Another 1:03.6. Not as good as his... So that will be his best lap though. Goes up a little bit. Don't know if he's going to keep pushing there. He's on the 3rd row of the grid. He's probably going to want to improve on that one. Alright, let's see who else is out there at the moment. Of course, Kevin Norman is off cutting the grass. Don't know what he's doing, mate. He's off cutting the grass. Just having a good time. Doing a bit of mowing for the people there of the virtual Oran Park that is no longer with us. Sam Dick is still back out on track. He doesn't really need to do too much. I don't think anyone's going to get a 1:02. They'll surprise me if they do, that's for sure. See if the Paul Sertrios Coffee. No, Shane Newens is not out on track at the moment. Beautiful shots there of Oran Park. Dylan Guest getting around. Let's have a look at Neil Woodburn. See where he's gone as it starts to go away here. In the pits as well. Fitzroy Beaumont is in there as well. You can see him at the back there. Peter B, the Italian Stallion. Can't see him in there. Where is he out on track? Let's have a look at the Italian Stallion. Mr. Peter B, the Ferrari. Judging by those times that have come up, I don't believe he's going to get a full-time lap. Maybe he's gone off track. That's why we don't see a full lap time there. It's one of those incidents where he's gone off track and will not record a time in qualifying. Overshoots a corner here, which is very easy to do. Very tricky, that little kink there, which they call the sweeper. Very easily to overshoot that when you come over. You have to get off the throttle there and give it another stab and then hard on the brakes. So easy to come unstuck there. He's done a good job though, he's pulled it up in the end. 51 seconds left, so if they're just starting a lap now, this is all they are going to get. So they need to get on with it at the moment. They need to see what they can do here. So the last half a minute of qualifying is underway at the moment. The last half a minute of qualifying. Get out on track. I mean, if you're not on your flying lap now, you're not going to get another chance. Just overshoots that corner a bit compared to what we've seen some of the front runners do. He's currently sitting in 9th position, Mr. Peter B. And there it is across the line. And probably not the time he wants. He has done a 1:04.040. That's his impressive time. The timer about to run out though. Just trying to see who we've got out on track still making their way around. Paul Mansell, can he improve? He's in the pits. Peter B's out there. Fitzroy Beaumont, he's out on track at the moment. No, he's in the pits. Who else have we got here? Neil Woodburn's in the pits. Sebastian Guest, he's out here on the lap. Sideways, give him the camera curse, the 45. Locks it up. That's not going to get him in any higher up in his qualifying. Dylan Guest just coming over the bridge, so he's just starting his final lap. Just starting the final lap now for Dylan Guest. Over the curbs, final corner here. Putting the power on, flirting with the wall. Can he improve? The guess goes from 8. No, he won't. He's done a 103.899 before. So I'm just trying to see who else we do have on track at the moment. I think we might have gone. There might be, as he goes off track, it's not really going to matter there at this point. I think we've pretty much got most people here sitting in the pits at the moment. That is going to bring us to an end of this qualifying session. So this qualifying session has come to an end. Just saying some time for Paul Mansell there, but I don't think that's right. I think that's how we're going to go. So let's have a look at our qualifying results here. Sam Dicker will lead us out, and it's obviously in an Audi R8 LMS, and it was a 102.945. You see 0.3 of a second behind him, Mason Harvey in another Audi in second position there, and he ran a 10. Well, that time is just going to go really quickly. Kevin Norman in third. Paul Mansell got to fourth there. Managed to go through, so he improved on his time as well to go P4. Then it's Gianni Lutzu, Sebastian Guest in sixth, Neil Woodburn in seventh, Dylan Guest in eighth, Peter B in ninth, and Christopher Mitchell ended up being 10th fastest, so it's a pretty good result for him. Let's have a look at the starting grid now. As you can see, it's going to be Sam Dicker. It's going to be Sam Dicker there leading us off with Mason Harvey alongside him. That's what it's going to be. Then it's going to be Kevin Norman and Paul Mansell on row 2, and that's what we needed to see. We had to see him get right up the front there, didn't we, at the moment? And then we had to see Gianni Lutzu and Sebastian Guest will be on the third row. Neil Woodburn and Dylan Guest in the fourth row. Peter B and Christopher Mitchell on the fifth row as we keep going through. Fitzroy Beaumont and Shane Newens will be on the sixth row, and Craig Spencer will round it out there if he joins us here tonight. I know he's in the race, but whether he joins us or not. So let's head off to the start of the race. It's going to be a good one here. Just having a look. Of course, we're not far away from getting away with this race. Just waiting for everyone to see what happens here. Paul Mansell's joined us. Who do we have there? Well, maybe we're waiting for third position there. Gianni Lutzu to join us here on this one. Sam Dicker's ready to go at the start there. Not a bad shot here as they're about to take off. So Sam Dicker will lead us out. Well, it's Mason Harvey alongside, Gianni Lutzu behind him. Just waiting for them to join us here in the race. So Mason Harvey. Paul Mansell was the big talk, though, on the fourth position. He ended up after qualifying. He is now on the second row. Sam Dicker will lead him out, and those are the two fighting for P1 in the championship at the moment. Although we do have a little bit of a lead here from Paul Mansell, Sam Dicker can close that lead up. He will close that lead up very, very quickly. All right. Lights are up. We're about to get underway racing now. Here we go. Oh, he pulls over aggressively there. Blocks his teammate too from getting through. Round the outside and off the track. Wow, who is that? Is that Mason Harvey? Mason Harvey. I don't know what's happened there. Let's have a look here on the replay there, because this one's going to be a big one here from Mason Harvey. Just off the track there. Wow, plenty going on when it comes to this. It's going to be a big night of racing. Let's go back live, though, with our leader, Sam Dicker. As we head up here, right up in the sky at the moment. Sam Dicker leads us out. Right behind him will be Kevin Norman. Sebastian Guest now in third. Paul Mansell stays in fourth with Dylan Guest in fifth position. Oh, sideways in the background. Who was that too? Just trying to see who that might have been way out the back. It might have been Dylan Guest again. I'm just going to go back here. Goes around. No, it might not have been. Maybe I got the wrong person there, but we've plenty going on this. And what I don't like to see is Paul Mansell back that far, actually. Paul Mansell all the way back into fifth position at the moment. The Lamborghini's starting to struggle with this one. Great start from Fitzroy Beaumont. He is up from memory 12th positions where he started. So that is a big, big improvement here from Fitzroy Beaumont to jump that many positions. So a really awkward start from a lot of the drivers actually at the moment, which we're not used to seeing out there. Paul Mansell getting around in the Lamborghini. Back in fifth position. Sam Dicker's leading this race at the moment. Kevin Norman in second. He's a little bit further back. So it's a little bit of a gap now. You can see him start to open up. Then we go back to third place. Sebastian Guest. That's the view from on board. You can just see the number 2 out in front, Kevin Norman. Right behind him, though, he's got Dylan Guest all over the back of him. Paul Mansell back in 5th. Might be a bit of a strategy here from Paul. Maybe he's just a bit more weight on. Maybe the Audi's responding a little bit better to the start of the race. Let him get in the groove and watch out for Paul Mansell later on. He'll definitely take a very educated pit stop, I'd say, on this one. Fitzroy Beaumont, though, is right behind him, just lurking the Azure Autosports. He needs to watch out and see exactly what he is going to do too, how much pressure he wants to put on, how hard he's going to try to go and past him. It's Fitzroy Beaumont now. We head back to who is in 6th position at the moment. Now he's just backed off a bit from Paul Mansell, so Paul Mansell's pace starting to pick up. Maybe the Lambo's starting to respond as the tyres start to warm up. Shane Ewan's gone up a couple of positions as well, so Shane Ewan's now moves up in the Audi. Of course, got the Paul's Ice Coffee on the outside, which is good to see, keeping the Territorians honest. Sitting back there in 9th place in the Audi, of course. Like I say, he's been in some of the Veterans Leagues. Oh no, camera curse for Shane Ewans. He spins off, manages to keep it off the wall though. Nice drive there from him. Let's go back to the little bit of a battle now between the brothers. And it looks like they've opened up a gap too. Sebastian Guest has now opened up over Dylan Guest. So they have actually, I don't know what's happened. Where is Dylan Guest gone? Because something has happened to him. He is off the track. Let's have a look where Dylan might have ended up, because everything seems to be happening out there. That's Dylan up on screen, back in 8th. So I'm not quite sure what happened to him, because he was right up the front there. So Sebastian will now take 3rd. It means that Paul Mansell will move into our 4th position, so he's up a spot now in the Lamborghini, and just not looking very comfortable out there tonight either, which is unfortunate. So anyway, we'll keep pressing on and see where they all end up tonight. So Sebastian Guest is now moved into that 3rd position in the Audi. Well, that's number 54 off in the background, Mason Harvey. Wonder what's happened to him. Let's see if we can check out a replay and see if we can find out what's happened to him on board. I'd like to go back a little bit further here to find out exactly what's happened. We'll have to keep going back. Just coming around, coming up to the final corner. Wow, just looks like he's copped a curb, or maybe a bit of net code there. Not quite sure what's happened to him on that one. So Sam Dick is still leading this race out in front now, and he's got a healthy little lead. So don't worry about Sammy. He's having a nice one out in front. Great times to the leaders at the moment. Kevin Norman's already 4.3 seconds behind Sebastian Guest, 6 seconds behind Sam Dicker. It's Paul Mansell, Fitzroy Beaumont, Gianni Latsu. Surprised to see him had a shocking start there. Christopher Mitchell in 7th now. Dylan Guest back in 8th. Peter B in 9th. Shane Ewan's now in 10th. Neil Woodburn in 11th. Mason Harvey in 12th. And Craig Spencer, of course, has gone out there on the track. So the GT3 series underway at the moment. It's so good to see everyone's getting into it. What I might do is bring up some of the comments on the screen. Here we go. So JD Luke's obviously watching us out there from the Northern Territory. Hopefully that means we're going to see him in the NTE series. I hope he's going to dust off the cobwebs and blow the dust out of his sim if he's still got it. Come on, mate. Surely you can blow the dust out of that one. A little bit of a battle here in 6th position, though. Fitzroy Beaumont and Gianni Latsu will bring that up on screen. So Gianni starting to make a little move. Christian Guest in there as well done, Chris. Yeah, Christopher Mitchell's doing pretty good tonight. Justin McLean out there. Watch out for Spencer. Yeah, we always watch out for him. He always spins out or does something. So don't forget, you can comment. Doesn't matter whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Throw us a comment. Make sure we have a bit of banter with the boys. Was that a bit of an off there from the Azure Autosports? Might check that out on the instant replay and see exactly what has happened to him. That's unfortunate. Coming over Yokohama Bridge and just... I know it's not the smoothest track. Maybe he's just got on the bumps there, got a bit unsettled. He was off the main racing line, a bit close to the side there as well. So that's unfortunate for him. Put him back another couple of positions. Hasn't had a good run in the last couple of rounds. Remains in 7th position though. Means Christopher Mitchell's gone by him as well. Should we check out our co-commentator, Mr. Mitchell, and see how he's going? 6th position, you know, definitely got the ex-race car driver. He's been doing plenty of laps, I know, whether it be down at the simulators, over there in Perth. Now he's got his own, he's upgraded pedals. You know, he hasn't just gone like me and bought a couple of things. got well and truly into the simulator world, and now he's been lured in. And now he's trapped. He's trapped in simulator racing world as well as real life racing, and it's all over for you, Chris. The money's gone. Don't tell the missus what you're doing. Just, you know, next it'll be another computer, another set of pedals and steering wheels. But good to see him getting around, and choosing the Audi as his weapon of choice there to do the series here tonight. The number 7 on board, of course. And I do like the number 7. That's the number I like to run too, Chris. So I'm cheering for you, and I'm hoping maybe we can get you up another couple of positions. A podium would be fantastic to see you in your first race here in the Flatout Karts GT3 series. Sebastian Guest now back in 5th place. It looks like Gianni Lutzu getting a move done as well as Paul Mansell. So something has happened there to Sebastian Guest. Not quite sure when that happened, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen what happened there to him, because as we go through, he has moved back a position. So Paul Mansell just doing what he normally does and chipping away at him. Of course, you never know, we could end up under a caution yellow, and under a caution yellow means we will bank them up, or there could be some wave rounds. Anything could happen really. So we just need to keep a mind on that. So we don't want too many people to go laps down. But the competition caution could bring Paul Mansell back into play here. Some of the times up there, he's still got a bit of time off of our leader though, because our leader is super strong. Let's have a look at the fastest lap so far. Of course, a 103.2 for Sam Dick and race mate, a 103.9 for Kevin Norman, 103.8 for Paul Mansell. So him and Kevin Norman fairly evenly paced. No one seems to have anything to come back to Sam Dick with at the moment. He just seems to be out there. Oh, Gianni Lutzu now, we're getting a move done. Gianni goes up to the 3rd position, goes past Paul Mansell. Fantastic move. Let's have a look at the replay here. It's a big move here on the final corner, of course, coming through the Recaro. I'll have to go back a little bit further. He gets it up there. Paul Mansell just goes wide. I don't think he outbraked himself there. Maybe he's just not having the pace Gianni's had, and he's let him through. I mean, a 103.37 is the fastest he's done. So Gianni's doing a fantastic job there. At the moment, he's definitely got some pace there. He's probably the closest, well, he is the closest one to Sam Dicker at the moment. Oh no, Paul Mansell off. Oh, it's a huge crash. Let's go back to that one. Paul Mansell comes around. Oh, has he had some netcode or something? That is so uncharacteristic for Paul Mansell. Go off, especially there. Really uncharacteristic for him. Means he's reset, put back in the pits. I'm just wondering whether that is something that's happened to him, and he needs to maybe have some netcode issues or some issues with his computer tonight. Maybe he's on a borrowed setup. He's maybe somewhere else. So P2B, let's check in with him now in 7th place in the Ferrari. Him and Fitzroy Beaumont holding up with the Italian Stallion symbol, of course. The Ferrari is the only two out there at the moment. We're a field of Audis tonight, with the one BMW thrown in and one Lamborghini, which just went airborne of Paul Mansell, and that's going to hurt him in the championship fight. He's down in 11th position at the moment, so let's see if he can regain a couple of positions there, maybe work his way back up. The safety car is going to be super important tonight. Yeah, the Italian Stallion. Good to see we've got someone watching us on YouTube. Yeah, go Dad, the Italian Stallion, mate. He is. He's been out every week. I don't want to get his name wrong. I've probably said it wrong 100 times. So we're going with the Italian Stallion. I love the big Italian flag on top. And super improvement from him as well. That's what I like to see. Super improvement from him. We check out some of the points he's got over the time, and he just seems to be working his way up. We had a big field when he first started racing. He missed the first one, but he got in after that, and he's just started to improve week after week, round after round on that one. So it's great and fantastic to have him involved in the series here at the Flatout Karts GT3 E-Series. Keep having a look around. Fitzroy Beaumont are now up into 6th position there in the Azure Autosports entry. Missing his teammate tonight, Corey Bennett. Not quite sure where he is. It would be great to hear from him if he's out there watching what's happened to him tonight, whether he's just missed the race work commitments or what it might be. But it's good to see the Azure Autosports still maintaining their presence here in the GT3 E-Series. He's got Dylan Guest. He's got Peter B. No, that must be Mason Harvey behind him. I think that must be a lapped car. So Mason Harvey actually might be down. I'm trying to look at the number on that car that's behind him. I might head over to Mason Harvey and see if that is him. Yeah, it is Mason Harvey. So a lap down now on Fitzroy Bay. You can see Mason Hardy there. Struggled there, big incident at the start of the race, but Paul Mansell still managed to get back out in front of him. So plenty going on as we go through the pack. Let's have a look as any battles going on at the moment. So we're all pretty spread out now, of course. Limited number of cars here tonight. Only 13 cars are taken to the grid tonight. 12 actually, with Craig Spencer sitting in the background doing some of our race officialing here tonight. So he's had a bit of a back seat tonight, which is unfortunate to see Craig miss out, but he's had some shocking runs lately, so maybe we're just making the rest of the field safe. Checking with Neil Woodburn, of course, in the lone BMW there, of course, the number 44 in 8th position at the moment. And you can see he's got Peter B in his sights through his front screen. So Peter B just in front of him. 2.83 seconds is the difference in time between these two as he's just about to come around and head over the Yokohama Bridge. Here he comes up over the bridge. Got to get that right-hander now. Come out wide, head down into the Foster's dip. A little bit off camber. Change direction. Then we head up to Momo Corner. Here it is. Left-hander again. Up through the dog leg. Little chicane section. Click through the gears and hard on the brakes. We go into the final corner, the Recaro corner, and around onto the main straight to complete another lap. So another lap run and done. Of course, our 1 hour race here tonight, all thanks to the Flatout Karts, Arise Racing Direct Industries, and Sam Dicker Motorsports. We have 46 minutes left in this race, which means we're probably going to get about 45 laps in. It's going to be a huge one tonight. We did say about 55 to 56 laps for this race here tonight, and they are still getting around. Looks like we've done about 13 laps so far, and we are out on soft tyres tonight. Sam Dick is still leading this race. Kevin Norman is second. Gianni Latsu, though, is on a bit of a move. Let's head on to see what Gianni is up to at the moment. Of course, he's got that gap down to 2.83 seconds now as he completes another lap behind Kevin Norman. So he's got that gap slowly going down. They're starting to deal with lap traffic, though, at the moment. That's what we've got to worry about, the lap traffic. Still 13 seconds off of our leader, though. Sam Dicker out in some clean space out in front at the moment. Shane Ewan just moves over to the side. The Territory Ice Coffee doing the right thing and making sure the car's coming through. He'll have the relative on, just making sure where he is on track and make sure he doesn't get in the way of any of these faster cars getting around. Shane Ewan's another one that's drastically improved throughout this series. Of course, we are in round number 8 here at Oran Park at the moment. On board with Gianni Latsu. Gianni comes around. Oh, you've got to watch out for that dirt on the right-hand side. Now we come up to the dog leg. Click through the gears. Try not to excite the tyres. You go over the bumps, and it's hard on the brakes. Down to second gear. Some guys have managed to grab it first there. Just pull the car up. Flirt with the wall as you come out. Be careful that no one's in front of you going into the pit lane. He doesn't have that problem at the moment. Last time round it was down to 2.8 seconds. Now it's down to 2.49. So 2.49 seconds the gap out in front to Kevin Norman. And you can see him out that front window too. It's tempting. It's tempting to push a little bit too hard. Christopher Mitchell up in the 5th position at the moment. His first time out in the Flatout Karts GT3 series. He's chosen an Audi. He's already into 5th position. A bit of luck there with a couple of some big names there who have gone out. Unfortunately, with some issues there where they've crashed, gone off track. Are we going to give Chris the commentator's curse or the camera curse? I don't know. He's got Shane Ewans in front. That is a lap car for him. Shane Ewans will see that up in his relative, and I'm sure he will make a little bit as Chris comes by. As you do see that, Shane Ewans does the right thing. Pulled up the racing line, lets him through. Oh no, clips a curve, then we're up off on the grass. Wow, that's a big moment, and boosts hard into that wall. Check it out in the replay. Unsettles the car coming out of there. It's quite easy to do, and there's nothing you can do right there. I wonder if that's a bit of netcode again. It just doesn't seem right, does it? Damage turned off though, which is good. So damage turned off. Doesn't look like you need to go and do too many repairs in that car. Get straight back into racing, but it does seem like we have a little bit of netcode here tonight. Last week it was my computer with a netcode. This week it looks like we've got some other people there. Just uncharacteristic moves here. I know it's a hard track. can really come unsettled. The GT3 cars are a lot better on the suspension than the V8 supercars that I've done quite a few laps around this place in, and just to see the way that car acted, the behaviour of the car, I don't think that's characteristic of what we expect to see. So we'll move on. Paul Mansell now back in 11th position after a huge incident earlier that was unfortunate for him. So that's really unfortunate that we see him all the way back there at the moment. Hear the noise of the Lambo though as we go on board. So, look, Dylan Guest is saying here that he has gone in the pits. So, Dylan Guest, the first one to go into the pits. We have 42 minutes left in this race. Dylan Guest is going to be the first one. Who is going to pit? He's ended up back in 10th position at the moment. Paul Mansell might be able to catch up to him on this one. He has been in the pits. I'm assuming Paul then may have taken fuel and tyres. If you're going to make a pit stop, you may as well make the use of it. It'll be interesting to see how they go on tyre degradation around this track as they get around. Not quite sure if Dylan's... Can't see the car go up a second time, so that's interesting how long he's taking in the pit lane too for Dylan Guest. Neil Woodburn still getting around in 7th position in the BMW just in front. Gianni Luzzu now got that gap down to 1.8 seconds and on a bit of a move there, looking for... hunting out that second position for Gianni Luzzu. Down to 1.9, so hovering around that 1.8 to 2 second mark there for, behind Kevin Norman, but definitely getting around faster than Kevin Norman when it comes to lap times. At the moment he's lapped in 0.2 of a second faster on the last lap, so definitely got the speed there to take it to him. Definitely has the speed. So, third position in the Audi. Of course, he's got the Energy Motorsports livery on. You can see Kevin Norman. Just need to stay cool and calm. Rising young talent when it comes to all sorts of forms of motorsports. Out with the open wheelers, wasn't the other day. Go-kart champion, and now iRacing simulator champion as well. Impressive start for Gianni Luzzu. Like we say, he's only had 3 appearances here in the Flatout Karts GT3 series. He's had 2 seconds and a 3rd place. So 3 podiums from 3 appearances is pretty good, and currently sitting in 3rd place in this race. 40 minutes left to go means we've got about 38, 39 laps. Minute 3 averaging around here for Sam Dicker, so a minute 3.3. His best is a minute 3.01. So he did a minute 2.94 in qualifying, so super fast even in race pace. He is right out in front at the moment. Clear leader there, Sam Dicker, the number 72. As you can see, and the safety car is out. So the safety car is out. This is going to be interesting. This will be very interesting with the safety car out. Just to see what it does. Definitely going to bring the field back together. Who's going to go in for pit stops is going to be my interesting thing. I'm seeing I've got some stuff here. Paul Mansell was in the pits earlier. He obviously had some sort of repair. Mason Harvey's been in. Dylan Guest has been in, and it looks like, has Dylan Guest come back out? This is what we need to know. No, I don't think Dylan Guest has. Dylan Guest has now gone. He is out. So Dylan Guest is out. Sebastian Guest, though, pulls in the pits. So we're going to start seeing him come into pit lane. Pit lane's going to get really busy, I think. No, Shane Ewan's in there. And just Shane Newens and, of course, Sebastian Guest, who is up on blocks there. You can see, I think that's he's taking fuel now. He's getting tyres. You'll see them go down and go back up again. So only a couple of cars choosing to come in on this one and take that. So they will get back underway. Sam Dicker will be behind the pace car. So here it goes. We reissue the order now. Sam Dicker in first, Kevin Norman in second, Gianni Lutzu in third, Fitzroy Beaumont in fourth now. Nice improvement there, especially after a moment earlier. Christopher Mitchell will be in fifth position, Neil Woodburn in sixth, Peter B in seventh, Sebastian Guest back out in eighth, Paul Mansell in ninth, Shane Newens in 10th, Mason Harvey 11th, Dylan Guest 12th is where we sit at the moment. Good to see we've got a couple more people on there, and I've got the wrong colour text up here, which isn't going to help us, is it, tonight? So we'll check those out as we go. So, good to see people commenting on the stream and having a bit of a banter out there. I hope everyone's getting along and reading that one. Now we're starting to see them coming to the pits. Everyone's starting. Neil Woodburn, Paul Mansell, Peter B, all taking opportunity. Maybe they missed a safety car that already gone past, had to come around and wait a lap. So they're all starting to bank into the pits now. It's all happening here at the Flatout GT3 E-Series. Of course, Sam Dicker is your leader still, and we'll see where they all come out under this, whether we get any undercutting going on. Fitzroy Beaumont, he's done the splash and dash, and he will come out and lead the race at the moment. Back out behind the safety car, so Fitzroy Beaumont now going to be your leader. Just waiting to see who else is going to come out. Sebastian Guest has gone out, so he's come around because he got in the pits really early. He had good timing. Just waiting to see what else is going on. There we go. He comes out in third position. Gianni Lutzu in fourth. Kevin Norman in fifth. Peter B in sixth. Christopher Mitchell now seventh. Wow, what a way. Fitzroy Beaumont with the undercut, the Azure Autosports entry. He's going to go around and try and catch up to this car now. That's what he's got to do. Try and go around and see if he can catch up to the pace car as quick as possible. So, green though, safety car pulls off. What's this? Is Sebastian Guest going to do the move at the last moment? Wow, what a restart. Let's check that out on the replay because that's an insane restart. So the safety car pulls in at the very last moment. Well, I'm going to go back a little bit more. Look at this. Safety car pulls in, lights are off. Last moment, Sebastian Guest comes around at full pace and goes by to take the lead of this race. What a move. What a strange turn of events. Sebastian Guest leads us out though. Looking for his first win in the series. We've got 35 minutes left though. Such a short track, and that's interesting because Sam Dicker is still back in third position, but he is 17 seconds off Fitzroy Beaumont, which means he is 18 seconds off Sebastian Guest. This has worked out really well for Sebastian Guest and Fitzroy Beaumont. Gianni Lutzu in fourth position, Kevin Norman in fifth, Peter B now in sixth, Christopher Mitchell in seventh, Neil Woodburn in eighth, Shane Newens in ninth, Paul Mansell in 10, Mason Harvey 11, and I think we have lost Dylan Guest. We have lost him. Wow, that is a huge change of events there for Sebastian Guest now to be leading this. Let's see if he can hold the pace though over Fitzroy Beaumont. Look at Fitzroy Beaumont in the background, just checking everything. Of course, don't forget, if you do want to watch this, if you've got your mates out there, just head to maticab.media. And there are some links there to Facebook, YouTube and Twitch, and we are live at the moment, so you can click on those ones. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome. Hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Big shout out to the sponsors here of the Flatout Karts GT3 series, of course, Direct Industries, Arise Racing, and Sam Dicker Motorsports as well. Moment though, you can see it is Sebastian Guest up on screen, leading us here in the Audi, the number 45 over Fitzroy Beaumont in the Ferrari. Then it's Sam Dicker back in third. Gianni Lutzu not too far behind him, so that's going to be a little bit of a battle, Sam. So you have to watch out for Gianni because he's probably the only other one at a similar sort of speed to him when we were looking at the lap times earlier. You need to watch out for that one. Sam has done a 103.019. Gianni's done a 103.337, so he's still got a couple of tenths there advantage over him. And he's fast laps. Paul Mansell goes wide. He is not enjoying Oran Park that much at all, Mr. Mansell. Does this mean he's going to go a lap down too, I think, over Sam Dicker? You won't want to be doing that when these two are 1 and 2 in the championship. He pulls to the side. Not quite sure what's going on. Maybe the Lamborghini not responding well to this track, but very uncharacteristic for Paul. We did see him have a big off here over the Yokohama Bridge and he went into the wall and flipped the car. So maybe some netcode issues for him. Maybe he's got some equipment failure. Could be anything. We'll find out. I'll catch up with Paul a bit later and find out exactly what happened to him here at round number 8 here at Oran Park. The historical Oran Park in Australia, New South Wales, near Narellan. It's south there of Sydney, and now a sad housing estate. You can still get around some of the roads there, but it's now got houses. You have to drive through a couple of houses if you really want to do the track. And I'm sure you could rip up a few front wheels too, which would make them real happy. But Sam Dicker got a bit of work there. You can see the time starting to come down there as he's moving along. Gianni Lutzu, though, is in the background there. He's got Paul Mansell between them, who is a laps car now, which is really just odd to see. Fellow commentator Christopher Mitchell, let's see where he is at the moment. In 7th position, just completing a lap. 31 minutes, just under 32 minutes left in this race. So we are in the race at the moment, the 1 hour race for the Flatout Karts GT3 E-Series. Not surprised to see him getting an Audi. I'm sure he's been speaking with Mr. Dicker and get some put the setups in the car, but the Audi seemed to be the best overall performer. I say that though because I've got the Audi. I quite enjoy that car, but Paul Mansell has been the overall performer in the series at the moment. He's had 4 wins, a 2nd, a 3rd, and he's got 5th in the 1st round. So talking about drop rounds though, and that's what we need to talk about. You can drop your worst round, and there are a number of guys there who have missed a week, so that's their drop round. Their points won't change. One of those is Sam Dicker. Now he is currently 273 points behind Paul Mansell, but Paul Mansell, Sam Dicker missed a round. Paul Mansell's got to drop around 169 points in his worst round. So really, effectively, they're only going to be 104 points difference after the drop round. They're 1 and 2, and definitely way out in front of the remainder of the field. The closest behind them sitting on 939 points. So we're talking 500 points behind them, minimum. So, you know, these two are going to battle out for 1 and 2, and Paul Mansell not having a great night tonight. So this may become his drop round. It will hurt him. He will be hoping maybe, he won't be hoping something happens to Sam Dicker, but it definitely help him out if something, if Sam Dicker was to finish a little bit further down the field. So we've been on board Christopher Mitchell just in front. You can see the Peter B, he's catching him. This one could be a nice little tussle. These guys are actually battling for positions. You can see Peter B in 6th position now. Just have a look here. You can see how far behind Christopher Mitchell is now in 7th position. Just in the back there, Peter B. The loud and proud Italian flag on top, the Italian stallion. Come on, Kev, make it flow from Tim Driscoll. Yeah, that's good. Co Woodburn. Neil Woodburn's having a good night too. He's up in 8th. The lone BMW out there in the field. Whereas Kev got back to 5th position now. He had a ripper of a start, Kevin Norman. He got up into 2nd position. Sam Dicker actually had to block him a little bit. No, the camera curse. He holds onto it though. What a slide job there from Peter B. Slides it around the corner. Couldn't do it any better if I tried, I can tell you what. That was just coming out of the Yokohama Bridge through the Foster's Dip. Now he's coming up through the dogleg. Nice slide there from Peter B. Slide of the round so far with 28 minutes left to go. You can see Christopher Mitchell in the background. Oh, now we get it. He's going to have a bit of a go, Christopher Mitchell. the battle for 6th position at the moment. We're on board with Christopher Mitchell in 7th. You can see it there. It's down to under half a second now. Chipping away to him every lap, just a couple of tenths of a second. Peter B had a big slide at this section just before. This lap's looking a lot cleaner. Gave an opportunity for Christopher Mitchell to just shut that gap down. Got to be careful coming out of that dog leg. Oh, he overshoots the corner a little bit. Using every bit of that exit road there. And you can see the entry to pit lane as they go by. No one's going to be in there. We had the safety car out about 5 minutes ago. 27 minutes left means we're going to get about 26 laps remaining in this race. Very short circuit, 2.62 kilometres, 12 turns. Oran Park here in New South Wales, the old Oran Park that was no longer since 2010. Good to see all the old sponsors up there, a couple of businesses that are no longer around. Just goes to show that they've kept the authenticity of it. But this is the battle we've got on track at the moment. Will we see a move? Wow, they come over the curb. There's not much between them now. Down to Recaro corner, the final corner to head onto the main straight. Still 26.5 minutes left in this one. Please tell me that's not netcode. I don't want netcode tonight. Has Peter B got some netcode? Is that why we saw the slide a bit earlier? There he is. What's he got on the front? Blanche Payne. Something to select. I know he's been out doing plenty of work in the sim. Let's have a look on the front of his car. That's at the back of his car. Have a look on the nose cone there and see exactly how far away. Looks like Peter B's opened up a little bit of a gap there, but he got a net code there. Starts coming and going. It's going to be hard too if you're following him. If that's happening to Christopher Mitchell and he's losing sight of him there and he's coming back, especially if he gets right up under him, takes a line where the car already is and then it comes back on track, that could cause an incident. Let's hope that's at my end and not at their end, because I do not want to see an incident between these two. It is our race at the moment here. Just going to head back to Fitzroy Bowman. Looks like Sam Dicker may have caught up to this pack, and that's a huge run from them. They were like 10 seconds behind. The restart was super awkward. Here we go, another safety car. That's what it is. That's why we're all catching up. Another safety car tonight. What a time to pull it too. Maybe we're going to get some wave rounds too, get some cars back on the laps. This is going to be exciting racing. Very exciting racing. Will Fitzroy Beaumont repay the favour? Sebastian Guest did the big restart on him. They come flying around. The pace car pulled off at the very last minute. Sebastian Guest was at full speed. Fitzroy Beaumont caught unaware. He goes around the outside and takes the lead, and Fitzroy Beaumont has not been able to get that back. So this is going to be an interesting restart. And in the background, you've got Sam Dicker, who's been the fastest car in qualifying and the fastest car in racing to get around. So you need to watch out for him. Behind him, you've got Gianni Latsu, who's the only one who's kept up with Sam Dicker in the racing. And then you got Kevin Norman, Peter B, Christopher Mitchell, Neil Woodburn, and Paul Mansell, who's on an off night, and we're not quite sure what the go is with Paul Mansell. So uncharacteristic. Shane Ewan's there at 11. Sorry, Mason Harvey at 10. Shane Ewan's at 11. Dylan Guest has left us for the night. I'm not sure whether that's a rage quit or a netcode issue or whatever that is, but he is gone for the night. Craig Spencer being our official in the background tonight. Missing out on racing. Maybe he's trying to shake that bad luck curse that he seems to have had. He seems to have had a bit of bad luck in the last few rounds, getting spun around. It wasn't too bad there at one stage. He's in 11th position in the championship before tonight. I mean, it's really round 6 where he got spun out. Last week he got spun out. Round 2, 3, and 4, though, weren't too bad for him. They weren't as bad for Mr. Spencer. So we'll bunch them back up. Sebastian Guest will be leading us. Fitzroy Beaumont in 2 in the Azura Autosports entry. Sam Dicker, the Flatout Karts Audi, is in 3rd. And number 1 qualifier, Gianni Lutzu in the Energy Motorsports behind him. Kevin Norman in 5th, Peter B in 6th, Christopher Mitchell 7th, Neil Woodburn 8th, Paul Mansell 9th, Mason Harvey 10, Shane Newens in 11, and he just got a drive-by before, so he'll be coming around the back. The lights are off on the pace car, though. Lights are off. This means we are going to go racing again. You need to watch that car. He'll pull in. They pull in at the very last moment. The restart on this is really as you come out of the exit of the final corner on Recaro Corner. Here we go. What's the restart going to look like? Coming up over the dog leg, just a couple more corners to go. It slows them right down in the field. "22 minutes left. Slows it down. Does all the right things, Sebastian Guest. Gives plenty of room to the pace car. What will Fitzroy Beaumont do? We have got a green flag. We are underway racing again and restart this race here at Oran Park with 22 minutes, just under 22 minutes left to go. Sam Dicker has a bit of a look. He wants to get a charge on early. Wants to put, oh, Peter B's off in the background. Oh no, who's that coming together? Paul Mansell, part of that as well. Let's check out that on the instant replay. We're going to go back here. I'm going to go back a couple. I'm going to actually check. I've got Peter B here. Let's have a look. They come down the main straight. Comes down the inside. Oh, no, gets a wheel off. Spins out onto the grass. And in the meantime, oh, Christopher Mitchell and Paul Mansell have come together too. Let's check out this one here for Christopher Mitchell. See if we can get a different view from him. Oh, no, Christopher Mitchell's lost it and gone into Paul Mansell. Wow. Maybe on board I can go back a couple. Let's see if we can get on board with Paul Mansell. Maybe we can just sort of get on the roll bar here and have a look at how bad this is. He comes down inside of Neil Woodburn. He's got it there. Christopher Mitchell on the outside. Oh, they've come. He's pushed him wide and he comes across in. Oh, it's all together. Does Paul Mansell get out of this one? It's all happening at the restart. Paul Mansell will get back underway. That's unfortunate for him, isn't it? Not having the night he hoped for. Well, well, well. So Paul Mansell ends up back in 8th position too. So he's got through a couple now because of those incidents. Christopher Mitchell will rejoin the race in 10th. I'm sure he'll be happy about that. On Peter B though, he got himself unstuck there, and the rest was just unfortunate there with the Paul Mansell and Christopher Mitchell coming together there. A bit of rubbing is racing. Sebastian Guest still leading us though at the moment. Mr. Guest out in front. Let's check in with him as he goes around. Wow, moves going on all over the place now. Got him back just in time. Sam Dicker making the move in the Fitzroy car. The Fitzroy Beaumont now moves back into 3rd. Looks like he's lost a bit of pace, got off the racing line. He's under attack now from Mason Harvey. Gianni, well, how's Mason Harvey got back into this with a wave around? What a restart from him to go past Gianni Lutzu. That's another big move. Sam Dicker now with Sebastian Guest out of his front windscreen and closing the gap down. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have to watch that one as well. Fitzroy Beaumont, though, is another one. He's got them all over the back of him at the moment. Coming up behind him will be Mason Harvey. He's got past Gianni Lutzu and Kevin Norman just behind them. And just in the background, that fluoro yellow BMW of Neil Woodburn. Staying in this race. Paul Mansell back in 8th. He's quite a bit back now. Judging by our timing screen, not too far though. All right, let's head back to the little battle though. Sebastian Guest. It looks like he's under a fair bit of pressure now from Sam Dicker. This is the battle for first position. Sebastian Guest, Sam Dicker. There's less than 3/10 of a second between them as they come around to complete another lap with 18.5 minutes left to go. Oh, look in the background there. It's all happening. Fitzroy Beaumont. He's had to be a little bit defensive. How can you be, though, when you've got 2 cars lined up behind you? They're in 4th position now. Mason Harvey goes through. Gianni Lutzu follows him too. What a move done by these guys. Let's have a look at this one too. Check out the replay. Mason Harvey is super. We'll go back again. This one's a good one here from Mason Harvey, who's ended up in third position. Comes down the main straight. They got the draft. Gianni Latsu pulls him beside him. Nice move there. Controls it. Gianni's the one who's got to be careful there. Fitzroy Bowman does the right thing. Leaves a little bit of room there. He's got to be careful though. Kevin Norman in the background. That's what he's got to be careful of. Mason Harvey, he was all the way back in the field. These two safety cars have really brought him back in on the action, haven't they? They have super. They've been super for him. The pit stop strategy, we'll see if that plays out towards the end of the race. We've got 17.5 minutes left in this race, which means we've got about 16 laps, give or take a lap. The safety car has played a big impact in this race now with Mason Harvey all the way back. Could end up on the podium. I mean, last week he only just missed out. He was 5th from memory last week, but he has had a podium, but that was all the way back in round number 5, where he got a 2nd place for Mason Harvey. Gianni Latsu goes by though. Oh no, we've got an incident in the background. Let's check out the replay, see if we can grab that one. Fitzroy Beaumont is involved in this one, unfortunately. As Kevin Norman comes down, takes a dive, puts the nose into the side. Wow, where's Kevin Norman? Let's see if we can get on board with him. How did this unfold? He comes down. Oh, late dive there. Unfortunate for them to come together. Oh, let's head back though to our leaders. Sam Dicker now in 2nd position. You see how close he is to Gianni Latsu. That's unfortunate though, that incident we just reviewed there. And that was Fitzroy Beaumont and Kevin Norman, 8 and 9. And that's where they'll redress back in the race. Sam Dicker, he's still got 16 minutes left to go. He doesn't need to do too much. Sebastian Guest just in front. He knows he's definitely got a faster lap time. No need to push the fact. We've seen so many cars come unstuck. Don't do it. Comes down the inside. Sebastian gets a little bit defensive. Paul Mansell back up into 5th for 5, so it's a good recovery from him. Mason Harvey back in 4th. Gianni Latsu got the move done him. His teammate back into 3rd position, so he might go back into he's back in a podium position, considering he is 3 podiums from 3 races. He's only done 3 races in the Flatout Karts GT3 E-Series, but he has 3 podiums, so it's good to see him. Anyone else? Come on, Sam from the Charger. Well, keep it up, Seb. Oh, Christian Guest. That's good, mate. Yeah, he's doing well out there. He's just got to maybe put the elbows out a bit, because Sam has one to contend with. Dylan Guest had enough of spinning out, so that's what's happened to him. Peter B, the Drift King. Yes, he is. We're going to get him on a Assetto Corso next, and we're going to do some drifting. Might take drift stickers on the side of his car. So it's good to see you commenting. We'll bring them up on the screen. Have a get. Look at this one, though. It's all happening here. Wow, it's changing at the front. Sam Dicker putting another move on Sebastian. Hold him out, Kenny. Sam Dicker gets the nose in. He's going to have to yield this time and let him pass for Sebastian Guest. He doesn't want Gianni Latsu to get through either, because if Gianni gets a roll on there behind Sam Dicker, you've got 2 cars passing him in one corner. We don't want to see that. I might see if we can get back to that replay there and just show everyone, if you missed that pass, you just joined us. We'll go back here. It's down the main straight. He comes around here now. It's going to go right back. Look at the draft there, how close he is on this replay. Down the main straight here at Oran Park. Unsettled Sebastian a little bit there. Sebastian doesn't know whether he's going to go real defensive. Sam Dicker comes down. Doesn't quite have it done here. But it does put Sam Dicker on the dirty side of the racetrack. But he manages to pull the car up and gets the move done. Nice move there. Well done for Sebastian Guest too, to leave enough racing room so these guys don't come together. Now Sam Dicker leads out of this race. Gianni Latsu now about to do the same thing as they go down the straight. Look how close this is. Sebastian Guest has to go defensive, pushes him over a little bit. Rubbing is racing. I don't even think they make panels, and Gianni Latsu pulls out of that one. Sebastian Guest holds on to 2nd, but goes a bit wide coming out of turn number 2. Oh, this one's going to be tricky. Shell corner. They head up to the curve, and Gianni Latsu gets the move done. Oh, Mason Harvey follows him through. Let's go back to this one here, because Gianni Latsu on a bit of a move gets it done. Mason Harvey follows him through as well. So Sebastian Guest loses 2 positions in that one. That's unfortunate for him. Let's hope he can stay in the fight there though with Mason Harvey, who's back in third position now. Sebastian Guest pushed to fourth, just outside the podium. Unfortunate for him. Gianni Lutzu moves into second position now. Can he take it to Sam Dicker? He's been the second fastest person so far tonight. And the best lap in race conditions now is Sam Dicker with a 102.983, with Gianni Lutzu with a 103.318. So he's still 3/10 off of what Sam Dicker has done. But Sam Dicker needs to keep those laps going. Gianni is already pulling away from Mason Harvey. He's got himself on a podium finish at the moment with just under 13 minutes left in this race, which means we've got 12 laps. Maybe we'll get 12 laps to complete this one. The Energy Motorsports cars go around. How good would it be for Craig Spencer to see his teammates 2 and 3 on the podium? Even better if it was 1 and 2. Oh no, out on the grass for Gianni. Holds onto it though. What a moment. That could have all come unstuck for him. That could have been disastrous. Paul Mansell, the injectors online Lamborghini. Let's see how he's going in his recovery now after coming together with Christopher Mitchell a little bit earlier in the restart. Mate, he's slid off, hit a wall over, coming over the Yokohama Bridge. It's all happened to Paul Mansell tonight. So uncharacteristic for him too. So be interesting to catch up with him after this race and find out exactly what happened tonight, whether maybe the Lamborghini just doesn't like Oran Park, and it is a fairly rough track. Low slick car, really likes the long straights there with the aero package on this car. Maybe just not suited to this track tonight, maybe not enough practice. We know he's maybe he's a bit tired because he does a lot of sim racing, Mr. Mansell. He's done it for a number of years. He's involved in quite a number of teams. Been up doing plenty of hours too when it comes involved to the NTE series as well, and does a lot of liveries for people. I know you can see that there, especially when you see the Penrite cars. This is the man who does the iRacing liveries for that. So, you know, talent when it comes behind the Photoshop. Knows a lot about iRacing, and a bit of unfortunate we're not seeing him sort of battle it out with Sam Dicker at the front of the pack at the moment. As Gianni's still 3.6 seconds behind at the front. Just having a look. Looks like Kevin Norman might be in a little bit of a battle now too. And that's going to be with Fitzroy Beaumont, where they had a coming together before where, well, Kevin had a bit of a dive down the inside of Fitzroy Beaumont. Him managed to make contact and they spun out. Mr. Beaumont was in front of him though. After that, when I think they redressed that there, unfortunately pushed them both down the pack though. Now Kevin Norman's got the move done for that Karts entry and moved into 8th position with Christopher Mitchell, my co-commentator. He's not with me tonight. He's been lured. He got lured into the sim world with false pretenses that he was just going to commentate and enjoy it. And now he is well and truly pockets deep. Lots of deep pockets there. The money has been, the long arms have gone in and reached out and grabbed every last cent that he's got spare. And he has invested in the simulator world. Hook tonight was the message was, can I just race? And with the number of cars we had tonight, only 12 cars taken to the starting grid, I said, why not, mate? You're enjoying yourself. He was putting some good times together too. And when you got competitive times and you're in the top 10 when it comes qualifying, why not stay out of there, Chris, and have a great time tonight in the Audi? You'll have much more talent behind the wheel than I do. And I can only hope that we share the same talents when it comes to the commentary booth because, yeah, I don't want to be outdone too much by her. He's had a big weekend too this weekend, the Nitro Champs over there in Perth, so a big shout out to all those guys over there in Perth. I love coming over to WA. It's fantastic. You have such a great motorsports culture over there, and so many people enjoy it. Great talent as well, especially when it comes to the go-karting guys, drag racing guys, does not matter what it is, the burnout guys. A lot of people involved in the motorsport over there, and you know, a lot of people from WA, obviously in the GT3 Flatout Karts E-Series. So big shout out to them, of course. Joined from a few states here, a couple of the NT boys in there as well. Paul Mansell from Victoria, and I do believe that's where the Zero Autosports boys are from too, from Victoria. So getting involved in the Flatout Karts GT3 series, of course, all thanks to Sam Dicker Motorsport as well, Arise Racing, and of course Direct Industries. Less than 10 minutes now in this race, and you can see Christopher Mitchell coming back on the back of Neil Woodburn. This might be a nice little battle as we move on a bit later on in the race. Gianni Lutzu not catching up to Sam Dicker now, blown out to 4.6 seconds. Mason Harvey 1.6 behind him, so that gap opening up. This one is where the battle is actually starting to happen, which is Christopher Mitchell catching up to Neil Woodburn now. The BMW in the bright yellow, was it fluoro green? Do we call this the safety colours? Is this a safety vest? The BMW M4 GT3 car getting around. Well, goes wide on that one. Christopher Mitchell will do everything he can to take advantage of that. On the restart, we saw Christopher Mitchell. Paul Mansell did a move on him. He went out a little bit wide, and I think he went up on the curb. Don't know if they made contact, but he went up on the curb. The car got sideways. He came down and made contact with Paul Mansell. Paul Mansell managed to get the car, he come off the grass, managed to get back on track, whereas Christopher Mitchell backed the car into the wall. So it took him a bit more time to get back on track. He gets a little bit loose there. Car slides around. Where has he gone? Oh, no. Not even on him. I don't even have the camera curse on him. Let's go back a bit. Oh, he's done it again. He's come around here, the Yokohama Bridge, and this is not the first time we've seen a car do this either. He slides it out, doesn't hold on to it. Oh, he's not as good a drifter as Peter B. Come on, Mr. Drifter. What happened, Mr. Drifter? Oh, there we go. Christopher Mitchell is in the fence there. In the pits now too, obviously getting some repairs done, but yeah, unfortunately, that is Christopher Mitchell coming off the Yokohama Bridge and not drifting as well as the Italian stallion Peter B, who came out of there earlier, crossed up sideways but held onto it. So with him in the pits, there's going to be a few changes here in the leaderboard. Gianni Latsu is on track at the moment in second position there, 5.1 seconds now behind Sam Dicker. Sam Dicker has just left him. He has just done a 102.84 lap. Faster than his qualifying lap. 102.84, not another person in the field has done a 102 tonight. So Gianni Latsu is not going to take the Sam Dicker tonight, is my prediction there, with just under 7 minutes left in this race. So we probably will get 7 laps, because we'll come around and we will get on to the 7th lap. Big night tonight, just in here calling it by myself tonight. Christopher Mitchell out on track, and just with a big incident there coming off the Yokohama Bridge earlier, we saw he is in the pits, and I think he is back out on track now, but has gone a lap down. So Peter B is in 10, Shane Ewan's now in 9, Kevin Norman in 8th. So Fitzroy Beaumont has got that back over. Something's happened to Kevin Norman as well. We missed that because Fitzroy Beaumont has got past him again to take that back. I'm just going to see if I can find that in my events, because Kevin Norman with a big off track, and we do see that go through. So let's have a look and see if we can find this on track. We'll head to a bit of a replay here. Oh, we need to go over to Kevin Norman. Thumbs up. This might be an off track from earlier. Whoa, there we go. Sideways into the wall. Whoa, that's what's happened to him. And while that has happened, I think we are going to see in the background, that is where we may have lost it back to Fitzroy Beaumont. That's a big incident from him. Big, big incident. Wow. That's why we saw him go back. Kevin Norman's just had another off track. That's unfortunate for him. We gave him the camera curse while we had him on camera. That's really unfortunate for him. And back to our leaders. Gianni Latsu is in second, and heads back to Sebastian Guest, who's in 4th now. Mason Harvey between them now. Sebastian Guest was doing really well. He was leading this race. He had a cheeky restart on after the first safety car. Was at full speed, went around Fitzroy Beaumont, who was caught napping behind the safety car. So he did everything perfect when it came to that. And he was leading this race for quite some time with a big gap. Then we had another safety car. It was always going to be hard to hold out Sam Dicker. Then we saw Gianni and Mason Harvey teamed up and went through like a freight train. 2 of them got past him in 2 corners, followed each other through, and now so unfortunately he's back in 4th place, but he did have the elbows out for a bit. He did try to block for just a little bit. Let's head back to him though and see exactly how he's going with Paul Mansell on the back and the injectors on line entry. Need to watch this one. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all unfolds for these 2 guys. Paul Mansell been super quick in the series, and like we say, there's only 1 round where he hasn't made a podium, and tonight looks like it might be the 2nd time. A 4th place would be a great recovery for him. Just there he went off into the wall, smashed into those tyres. He recovered from that. Then he got into an incident with Christopher Mitchell on the restart of the 2nd safety car. Managed to come back from that. Now he is up in 5th position and chasing down Sebastian Guest. Still a little bit between them. It's just under 1 second. Have a look at the back. You can see Paul Mansell there, but not close enough to make a move at this point. 3.5 minutes left. They complete a lap. at about 103 a lap, say 105 just to make it easy on the mass. It's going to be 3 minutes and 15 seconds there. So they are going to get 4 more laps. Once they've started the lap and the time runs out, you will complete the lap you're on. So they are going to get 4 more laps. Paul Mansell needs to get a move on though, because he is running out of time. It's still remaining there. Now it's out to 1.4 seconds. So he's got a fair bit of work to do. Maybe those tyres are too degraded there. He might not manage to actually get that back, which will be unfortunate for him. That'll be super unfortunate for Paul Mansell, but he will get 5 for 5 if he can maintain his position at the moment. Head back up to Gianni Lutzu, who's got a Mason Harvey behind him, who seemed to catch up for a second there. Now I'm watching the times there just blow out. Something has happened to Mason Harvey. What has happened here? Major incident maybe? Okay, let's head back here to Mason Harvey on the replay. Comes out of here. All right, oh, just gets off there. Yeah, it's really easy to do at that point too. Just coming out of Momo corner just before the dog leg, and rejoins the track, but holds onto his position too, which is really good. So Sebastian Guest in 4th will have to chase him down. So that's unfortunate there for Mason Harvey. Very unfortunate there for him. So he will hold on to 3rd position at the moment. You can see Sebastian Guest and Paul Mansell in the background. All right, now Paul Mansell's starting to make a bit of a move. He's realised he's run out of time. 1.48 seconds, 1.48 minutes really. So it's just under 2 minutes left to go. He's only going to have a couple of laps. They'll complete this one. I reckon they'll get another one in, and then they'll. So yeah, the 2 laps from here is my guess. 2 laps to get the job done. It's down to 0.6 of a second here as they come onto the main straight. Sam Dicker is your leader. Let's check in with him very, very quickly. He's got a big lead, 7.4 seconds it is out in front. Gianni Lutzu is next. Then it's Mason Harvey. You see him in the background. Sebastian Guest and Paul Mansell. Neil Woodburn, where is he? He's back there. He's on his own at the moment in 6th position. Fitzroy Beaumont is back in 7th now, and that's not Kevin Norman. He's just got past Shane Ewan. So Kevin Norman, so Shane Ewan's there, just completing the lap. Sorry, so Kevin Norman is back a little bit. There's not Shane Ewan's between them. That might be Christopher Mitchell in the middle of them. With Christopher Mitchell down there behind Fitzroy Beaumont. So that is a lap car for him. Alrighty. Let's have a look at this one though. We're going to come around. I do believe we will finish on this lap is what I'm going to say. With the times we've got, Sam Dicker leading us. We've only got 34 seconds left. This will be our final lap. But we need to watch this one. He's got 1 lap to do it though. He slides the car out for Paul Mansell. I don't think he's going to make it happen in this race. It's blown out now to 0.9 of a second. So Paul Mansell not looking like he's going to catch him. We're going to watch this one. Sebastian Guest just needs to keep a cool, calm head, and he'll end up in 4th position in this race. Sam Dicker way in front. Gianni Lutzu in 2nd. Mason Harvey in 3rd. Sebastian Guest in 4th. Paul Mansell 5th. They're your top 5. Sam Dicker way out in front. Not quite sure if that was a car crossing over the bridge in front or whether we saw an incident we've missed out on. Just checking up on my screen. Oh, yeah. So we got the white flag is coming out now. The white flag. Final lap. Final lap right now. Come around. I do believe we may have finished. Is that I'm going to miss the end here. I was watching this race too between Sebastian Guest. Sam Dicker. He has taken the win. Sam Dicker takes the win. Gianni Lutzu in 2nd. There he comes through. Mason Harvey will be in 3rd position. Will end up on the podium. Then it goes back to Sebastian Guest and Paul Mansell. Neil Woodburn will round us out. We'll come round in 6th in a moment. So that's the final part of our race. The checkered flag is out. Checkered flag is out. Neil Woodburn ends up in 6th. In 7th position, we're going to have Fitzroy Beaumont. Comes across. It's Mitchell, Christopher Mitchell behind him, but it's Kevin Norman who just couldn't finish the race. Too many incidents in the end. Will come home in 8th. Shane Ewans ends up with a 9th. Good one there from Shane Ewans in the Territory Paul's Iced Coffee entry as he comes around to complete his race. Peter B in the background just behind him won't get it done. Finishes in 10. Christopher Mitchell in 11. Dylan Guest got out there early, got a bit too sick of crashing, is what he said. So good to see everyone who's joined us on there tonight. Good to see some comments going on as Shane Newens takes us off the track. Plenty going on though, and it looks like our winner tonight will be Sam Dicker once again, and he put some impressive points in the bank. So good for him to take the race out. Let's have a look at though your final results here. Sam Dicker, your number one in the Audi, 7.8 seconds behind is Gianni Lutzu in the Energy Motorsports entry. His teammate Mason Harvey in third position, so the Energy Motorsports get 2 on the podium. Sebastian Guest will come out in 4th after leading the race for a number of laps after the safety car. Only 16 seconds behind our leader. Paul Mansell in 5th behind him. Neil Woodburn in 6th in the Fluoro BMW. Fitzroy Beaumont in the Azure Autosports entry in 7th. Kevin Norman in 8th in the Flatout Karts GT entry. Shane Newens in 9th, the Territory Paul's Ice Coffee entry. And Peter B, the Italian Stallion, will round out our 10. Then we go back to Christopher Mitchell, who got 11 in his first race in the Flatout Karts GT3 series. And a commentator to be out there and not coming last is fantastic. Dylan Guest ended up in 12th. And Craig Spencer was our race official in the background. But yeah, it was a big night there. And Christopher Mitchell's jumped in for a second there. He's obviously had a good one. We might actually, what we do is, we are going to grab our third place getter. We might grab Mason Harvey if he's in the chat and just see if we can have a bit of a chat with him. We're going to move him into the commentators. Mr. Mason Harvey, you are live in the commentators chat, so don't say anything too silly. But mate, mate, you're on the podium tonight. You get yourself a third place.
Yeah, surprised with that considering I glitched out lap 1 and joined back 2 laps down. So that crazy safety car scenario before everyone pitted actually helped me out. So pretty stoked.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic news from you. And it's your second podium in the series. And the Energy Motorsports guys, you got to see your teammate in front of you get on there as well, Gianni.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, 2-3 for Energy Motorsport. So yeah, stoked with it. So hopefully we can bring it home for the Series Championship.
Mate, let's hope you can, because we all want to see that. We all want to see you bring that home for the championship. Currently sitting in 3rd too. So so a good bag of points there to put in tonight.
Yeah, and Kevin finished a bit down the order, so that definitely helps my championship chances. But I will miss next race, so it's going to be close with the Bathurst for the decider.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be a big one come Bathurst time, that's for sure. And congratulations on 3rd place, mate. We'll let you go, and what we might do is we're going to bring your teammate in and see what he's got to say all about it.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, matey.
See ya. All right, let's see if we can grab Gianni. Last time we had a bit of fun with him coming in. And Gianni, we've grabbed you in the commentators chat. I'll just see if you got your push to talk on or not. I've muted you. We're going to take you off the server mute. Now we got you. Now we've got you, mate. Yeah. let's get you in here. And mate, 2nd place. It's 3 podiums really for you.
Yeah, I know, a bit surprising considering, you know, I wasn't in the series at the start. Yeah, no, I've loved the series so far. Just had a lot of luck in the races and surprisingly a lot of pace, which has really helped me out throughout the races against, you know, Sam and Paul and all that. So yeah, loved it so far.
Yeah, no, it's and good to see your teammate Mason Harvey behind you as well. It's get the Energy Motorsport boys 2 and 3 on the podium tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Always good to see Mason up there. We did a lot of testing when iRacing actually had Oran Park as their series race. At that time, we did like 400, 500 laps just around Oran Park. So we had a pretty good idea of, you know, all the corners and where to brake and all that stuff. So yeah, really good to see Mason up there, and he should be happy with his result too.
What do you got to do to take it to Sam Dicker so you can actually get that gold? We need you to get a win. You've got everything else. You got silver, you got bronze. The only one left to get is a gold. You got 2 rounds left to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I think the only way I'm going to get it is if he doesn't show. So yeah, no, he's very fast. I know it's quite impossible to catch up with him once he's gone. That's really it. And yeah, I don't know. I think I just got to keep going in the sim, get a few more hours before a race. But nah, tops to Sam. He's really good at every single round. So yeah, gonna be hard to beat him, but we'll see what we can do.
Mate, it's always hard to beat Sam, and another one that wasn't in contention tonight was Paul Mansell. I suppose pretty happy to have him behind you tonight.
Yeah, I know that it was a surprise. Paul Mansell's always, you know, he's usually always 1, 2, 3. yeah, just obviously wasn't his night tonight with all the safety car and all that. It was a little bit of a kerfuffle, but yeah, no, we got all through there. He got a bit of points, so yeah, we all did a good job tonight, I think.
No worries, mate. We'll let you go, and I'm sure we'll speak to you in the next couple of rounds.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Cheers, Chris. Have a good one. Thanks.
See ya.
Cheers, mate.
All right, the winner. Where is he? Mr. Dicker. Let's bring him into the commentators chat and see if we've... look, we've got Mr. Dicker in here. We've dragged you in, mate. You've got yourself another podium. You're right up the top. Untouchable tonight.
Yeah, I think I did a lot of practice laps here. I was really certain that I needed to try and have the pace over Paul this round to be able to get somewhere back in the championship. But what a hectic race. I mean, there was lots of spanners that got thrown in the works there with the safety cars before pit stops and all kinds, but made for an interesting race. And yeah, I think it was a good show.
Are you going to do some training with your teammate, Mr. Kevin Norman? Because he had a lot of offs tonight.
Yeah, he had a lot of pace. I don't know what happened. I think he had a couple incidents, got a bit flustered. But in fairness to him, on the old G29 around this circuit with the bumps, it is really hard. Once you get a bit, someone rubbing you up a bit, as soon as you get that, it's super hard to hang on to it with a wheel with no feel. So, yeah, I think he'll do all right. It's a shame for him because he was right up there in P2 at the start before we had the safety car.
Yeah, important win tonight, isn't it? With Paul Mansell ended up back in 5th. So, very important win. You two leading the championship. It's going to be hard for anyone to catch both of you up the front, but very important for you if you want to catch up to Paul and really take it to that last round at Bathurst.
Yeah, I think with the double points round at Bathurst, it's going to come down to that unless one of us have a bit of a shocker. Paul's still got a drop round that he can take with not having too many bad results, where I've already had a round I've missed. So if I have a bad result from here on out, it really affects my championship, where he's kind of safe before Bathurst. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think implementing our drop rounds, we should be pretty even on points now, which makes it really interesting for the rest of the championship.
Well, I'm just actually going to do that now because I'm just trying to remember how many points we give away, and I am going to look at this quickly on the screen. 169 points for a 5th place. That is going to put you actually, even after the drop round, that is going to put you 16 points in front of him.
Okay, because his worst round he came 7th, I believe.
No, it was 5th.
So,
it was 5th.
Oh, really?
It's 5th in round number 1. Yeah. So
okay.
So yeah, that's after the drop points. You'll actually be leading, but he's currently leading you by 153 points. So
it's going to be super tight.
It's going to be super tight. Yeah. So it's going to be fantastic to watch you and Paul really battle this in the last couple of rounds. It's going to be super exciting to watch. Laguna Seca, another tricky track, easy to grab the dust. You know, a lot of come over hills, especially that little sort of chicane. You come over the top and go down. It's very easy to drag a lot of dirt onto the track at that point.
Yeah, I've done pretty much no laps there, so I better get to doing some laps. And yeah, like you said, super sandy, so have a couple offs and it just ruins the track, which makes it really tricky. We actually had that issue a bit here. But just like to mention as well, how's big old Chris rocking out of the commentary box and doing some miles and pulled together a pretty good result, even with a few offs?
I thought he was going to get top 5 for a second there, and then him and Paul Mansell had a little bit of a moment there where Mansell was overtaking him, and then all of a sudden he was off track and back down the pack.
Yeah, I know, spewing. He was on for it. You should hear him in the race chat. He starts the commentating. It's wonderful to listen to.
I can't help it.
Well, mate, you did fantastic tonight, Chris. You did actually. I was hanging heaps on you, but you were doing pretty good.
Oh, I'm absolutely deserving of having heaps hung on me. I have been in this sim since about 11 o'clock this morning. And yeah, it's not a pretty sight in here right now because it's like, what, a 35-degree day here in Perth without air conditioning in the room. But it's such a hard workout, and it's so hard to drive these things on the edge. I'm really enjoying the challenge, and thanks to the boys for letting me jump out of the booth and actually doing work to just coming in and having some fun for once. It's mad fun.
Well, it's another round done. Next week, we go to round number 9 at Laguna Seca Raceway, obviously over in the USA, California. It's going to be another big one, all the same time, all the same channels, guys. Have we got anything else to say? I think it's all ready to go, and we're going to shut off for tonight.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, big shout out to Arise Racing, Sam Dicker Motorsport, Direct Industries, and of course, Flatout Karts. And we'll see you next week. Stay tuned to Medicav.media, and we'll let you know when it's all about to happen. See ya.